You send a message home. Simple words. I'm okay. I'm scared. I'm still here. Then you wait, because out here, waiting is all you can do. The message travels at the speed of light, the fastest thing in the universe, nearly 300,000 kilometers every second, and it still takes too long. This is what it means to be lost in space. Not lost like you can't find your way, lost like no one can reach you in time. There are 6 levels of that feeling, 6 places you could be right now, each one further than the last, each one quieter. Let's start somewhere familiar. You are 400 kilometers above the Earth. That sounds far. It isn't, not really. If you could drive a car straight up, you'd be here in about 4 hours. The ISS sits so close to home that on a clear night, people can see it from their backyard. A bright dot moving silently across the sky at 27,600 kilometers per hour. You are moving faster than a bullet. 16 times a day, you watch the sun rise and set. Every 90 minutes, the whole world passes beneath you. And yet, you pick up your radio. You call home. Someone answers, right now. No delay, no waiting. The connection is almost instant, a fraction of a second for the signal to bounce down and back. You can hear them breathing. You can have a normal conversation. You can laugh at the same joke at the same time. From up here, Earth fills half your window. You can see the curve of coastlines, the white spiral of a storm system, the orange glow of cities at night. It looks close enough to touch. This is level 1. The most lost you can feel while still being able to call someone. The most alone you can be while still being able to see home with your own eyes. It doesn't feel dangerous. That's the point. Because all of this comfort, all of this connection is about to start disappearing. One level at a time. The moon is 384,000 kilometers away. You send a message. It leaves at the speed of light. It arrives in 1.3 seconds. The reply comes back in another 1.3 seconds. Total round trip, 2.6 seconds. That doesn't sound like much. Try it. Say something out loud, then wait. Count slowly. 1, 2, and only then hear the response. Do it in every conversation, all day, every day. The rhythm of human connection runs on milliseconds, on instinct, on the tiny unconscious signals that tell you someone is listening, someone is there, someone is reacting to your words in real time. That's gone now. The Apollo astronauts felt it immediately. Not just the silence before the reply, but the strange echo of their own voices bounced back from Earth. Talking to home started to feel like talking into something, not someone. 2.6 seconds. It sounds so small, but it is the first crack. From the lunar surface, Earth hangs in the sky, 4 times larger than the moon looks from home. It doesn't rise or set. It just stays there. Bright, blue, still. You can see the continents shift slowly as it rotates. You can see the planet where everyone you have ever loved is alive right now, going about their day, unaware of exactly how you feel in this moment, because whatever you say about it won't arrive for another 1.5 seconds. You are close enough to see home with your naked eye, and already you are too far away to have a normal conversation. The delay is small, but it is real, and it will never get smaller than this again. Depending on where the planets are in their orbits, between 54 and 401 million kilometers away. That range matters, because at closest approach, your message home takes 3 minutes to arrive. At furthest, it takes 22 minutes, and the reply takes just as long to come back. Best case, you ask a question and wait 6 minutes for an answer. Worst case, 44 minutes. On average, you are looking at something close to 25 minutes for a full exchange. Think about what that means. You cannot call home, not really. You can record a message and send it into the void and wait, and then receive a reply that was recorded in a room you can no longer picture clearly, by a voice that sounds slightly different than you remember. NASA researchers studying Mars mission simulations found that astronauts stopped talking to Earth over time. Not because they didn't want to, but because it no longer felt like talking. It felt like writing letters to people who might already have moved on. Here on Mars, you are alone in a way that has a new definition. If something goes wrong, a pressure leak, a medical emergency, a system failure, you cannot ask for help in time. The answer arrives after the crisis is already over, one way or another. You have learned to make decisions before you are ready. You have learned that waiting for permission is not an option. Earth is still visible in the Martian sky. A pale blue point of light just above the horizon at dusk, smaller than a star. You could cover it with your thumb. You send a message anyway. You say you are okay. You say you miss home. Then you go to bed. Somewhere between sleeping and waking, the reply arrives. It says, "We miss you too. Stay safe." You read it in the morning, like a letter from the past. The delay is no longer a curiosity. It is the shape of your life. You are now so far from the sun that it no longer looks like a sun. It looks like a star. Bright, the brightest thing in the sky, but a point of light, not a disk. Out here, sunlight is so weak that solar panels are useless. Your ship runs on the decaying heat of a nuclear core, a slow, patient release of energy from material that has been dying since before you were born. It is the only warmth out here that isn't a memory. You are somewhere between 30 and 55 astronomical units from home. 1 astronomical unit is the distance from the Earth to the Sun. 150 million kilometers. Multiply that by 50, that is where you are. Your signal home travels at the speed of light, and it still takes between 4 and 7 hours to arrive. The reply comes back the same way. You send a message in the morning, you go about your day, you eat, you run diagnostics, you stare out the window at a field of frozen rock and ice, the remnants of the solar system's formation, untouched for 4.6 billion years. Then, in the evening, the reply arrives. It was sent hours ago. The person who sent it has already gone to sleep. You are the only human being who has ever been here. New Horizons passed through this region, a spacecraft the size of a grand piano, launched in 2006, traveling at 58,000 kilometers per hour. It took 9 years to reach Pluto. It had no crew. It sent data home at 1 to 2 kilobits per second, slower than a 1990s dial-up modem, because the signal was so faint by the time it crossed this distance that it arrived as barely a whisper. Your signal is stronger, but it still takes all day. Think about what you have lost. Not just real-time conversation. You have lost the ability to share a moment. If something extraordinary happens right now, a discovery, a scare, a thought that changes everything, the person you most want to tell won't know about it until tonight. Their time, not yours. You sent a message this morning. 7 hours later it arrived. They read it, recorded a reply, sent it back. 7 more hours. By the time their voice reaches you, their day is over. They are asleep. You are still in your afternoon. Time has split in two. There is your time, and there is everyone else's. Not because of physics alone, but because the delay is now long enough that you and the people you love are living in genuinely different moments. You no longer share a now with anyone. You are still inside the solar system, barely. The solar system has an edge. It is not a wall, not a line you can see. It is a place where the sun's influence finally runs out, where the solar wind, that constant invisible stream of charged particles flowing outward from the sun, meets the pressure of interstellar space and stops. This boundary is called the heliopause. Beyond it, you are no longer inside anything that belongs to our star. You crossed it weeks ago. You didn't feel it. You are now approximately 170 astronomical units from home. That is 25 billion kilometers. Your signal travels at the speed of light, and it takes nearly 24 hours to arrive. The reply takes another 24 hours to come back. If you ask a question on Monday morning, you receive the answer on Wednesday. Only one human-made object has ever been here. Voyager 1, a a spacecraft the size of a small car, launched in 1977, built with technology older than most of the people who now monitor it, is out here with you. Right now, in April 2026, its signal takes 23 hours and 32 minutes to reach Earth. Engineers send it a command, then wait 2 days to hear whether it worked. The team that still talks to it includes retirees in their 80s, because they are the only ones left who remember how it was built. It is running on 4 watts of power, less than a dim light bulb, and it is still talking. Out here, the sun is still the brightest point in the sky. But it is no longer a disk, no longer a source of warmth you can feel. It is a needle of cold light, brilliant, distant, and indifferent. You look for it sometimes out of habit. The silence here is different from the silence on Mars or in the Kuiper Belt. Those silences had a shape to them. The delay had a rhythm, a pattern you could adapt to. This silence is formless. A message leaves, nearly a day passes, a reply arrives. But the reply always feels like it comes from somewhere very far away, not just in distance, but in kind. The voices are the same. The words are warm, but something has changed in how they land. You are the first human being to experience what it means to be genuinely outside the heliosphere, outside the sun's protection, outside the boundary that everything you have ever known has always existed within. The delay is almost a full day, and the universe has not yet begun. There is a boundary even beyond interstellar space. It is not marked by anything physical, no change in temperature, no shift in the color of the dark. It is the point where the gravity of our local group, the cluster of galaxies that includes the Milky Way, Andromeda, and about 50 smaller companions, can no longer hold you. Beyond this point, you are not just outside the solar system, you are outside everything that gravitationally belongs together. You are in the void between galaxy clusters. The nearest galaxies are hundreds of millions of light years away. Not the Milky Way, not Andromeda. Those are long gone, invisible, not even a smear of light in any direction. The universe out here looks the same in every direction, black, with the faint scattered glow of structures so distant they have no names you were taught. You send a message home. It leaves at the speed of light, the fastest thing in the universe. And something happens that has never happened before at any of the previous levels. The message does not just take a long time. The message will never arrive. Because space itself is expanding. The universe is not static. The fabric of space between galaxy clusters is stretching. Not because things are moving through space, but because space itself is growing. There is a distance beyond which this expansion outpaces light. Objects past this threshold, called the cosmological horizon, are not merely far away. They are permanently, irrecoverably unreachable. The light you send toward them is like running forward on a treadmill moving faster than your legs. You move, you make progress, you never get there. The home you left is past that horizon now. Not because Earth moved, not because you moved, but because the space between you grew, silently and constantly, until the gap became infinite in the only way that matters, in the time it would take to cross it. Your message is still traveling. It always will be. It will thread its way through the dark for billions of years, growing fainter, stretched by the same expansion that separated you from everything you knew. It will never be received. Not because there is no one to receive it, but because the universe itself has made the delivery impossible. This is not a delay anymore. This is the end of connection. Not as a feeling, as a physical fact. You are not lost. Lost implies someone is looking. Lost implies a path back exists, if only you could find it. This is something else. This is what it means to be beyond the reach of physics. Beyond the reach of light, beyond the reach of anything that could ever know you existed. The void does not notice you. It was never going to. There is no signal delay. There is no signal. The last message you sent left at the speed of light. It is still traveling. It always will be. But the universe is expanding faster than it can move. The place you sent it toward is pulling away, not because it wants to, but because space itself is growing between you. The message will never arrive. It won't be lost. It will just become irrelevant. Somewhere back there, 13.8 billion years of history happened. Stars formed and died. Oceans appeared on a small rock. Something climbed out of those oceans and eventually looked up. Eventually wondered. Eventually built a ship and pointed it outward further and further, level by level, until even the light couldn't follow. The universe doesn't close doors. It just builds more space. And out here, in the middle of all of it, getting further from everything that ever knew your name, so do you.